Welcome back. Saturday college conference action. We've got a big one. Clemson at Florida State. This was actually going to be Vegas Runners' play this week, and I'll tell you who VR was going to take in this one. But I've got Brian Leonard from WagerTalk.com sitting in with me. I'm Marco D'Angelo. And Brian, we've got Clemson. They come in here, Florida State. Clemson, they got throttled in that first game against Georgia. But if you watch that game, it was a tight game for 2.5 quarters. It was midway through the third quarter before Georgia broke it open. And Clemson had a couple of mistakes early on that could have put the game maybe away. And then finally, I don't know, Coach Rick, finally the light bulb went off. You got Gorley in the backfield, give him the ball. And then, he had some big runs in the second half to blow that one open in the opener. I was on Georgia in that one, and I kept saying, will you hand the ball to Gorley, please?
Yeah. You're going to wear down a lot of defenses handing the ball off to Gurley. He's probably the best running back in college football. He's one of the top couple. Big revenge game here for Clemson. They were blown out last year against Florida State. And, that was a Clemson team that had two of the top offensive players in all of college football, the best wide receiver in college football, and a pretty good quarterback in Taj Boyd. They're no longer at Clemson. So Clemson is going to have to compete in this game on defense this year, I believe. The offense is pretty good, but it's not like it was last year.
Yeah, and that presents the problem with this Clemson team because defensively last year they weren't good. They were just outscoring everybody. And what we saw in the first half of the Georgia game, maybe we had some hopes for the defense, but the second half they really got torched. So what's going to happen with this Florida State team? And my question to you is, now we've got a Florida State team who is 2-0, but we don't know really how good they are this year or how bad they are, because that first game they played Oklahoma State and they were life and death, with Oklahoma State back and forth. They couldn't put Oklahoma State away. And we all know Oklahoma State's always a good offensive team, but they lost a lot of key people too last year, so not much was expected of them. So that was kind of a surprise that they were able to move the ball on Florida State the way they were. And do you, attribute that to the fact that Florida State, having the freshman quarterback last year, obviously everybody knows goes on and wins the Heisman Trophy and everything. But was it too much, too soon, and then you have that hangover effect from the first year?
I think it was a little bit of a combination in the offseason. I mean, everybody's talking about Florida State. It's going to be even better this year. It was a team, everybody had #1 in their power ratings. And, Oklahoma State, not a whole lot was expected out of the Cowboys this year. So opening week game, national TV, that was a coming out party for them, and they really showed. I mean, they played very well in that game. I think they've disappointed a little bit since then. Interesting for Florida State, I talked about how everybody had them #1 in the power ratings earlier this season. I haven't seen a lot out of them to make me say, hey, they are clearly the #1 team here. The interesting part in this, you talked about the revenge for Clemson, but take a look at Clemson every time they step up in conference and play some good teams, step out of conference, play good teams. They've not done well in that situation.
Well, this was VR's free pick, and VR was taking Florida State, laying the points here. He was going to go ahead and lay the 20 with Florida State over Clemson. Me personally, I'm on the fence on this game. I don't have anything. Sounds like you're kind of the same way.
There's
too many question marks there. But the free pick officially is from the Ghost this week, Vegas Runner. He said to take Florida State minus the 20. And we'll be back. We're going to head to the NFL, and we'll take a look at a couple big NFL games up next.